Hello, is this Stevie Richards?
Yes, it is. How are you?
I'm good, sir. This is Felix alongside my partner, Austin. We appreciate you taking time to do this out of your busy day, and we'll just go ahead and get it started right away. I was looking over your storied career, and you actually were trained by Iron Mike Sharp. But I wanted to ask you, how did you come about wanting to make the decision to become a professional wrestler when you were younger?
Well, that's a tough one. Well, first of all, I was trained before I went to Mike Sharp's wrestling school.
Oh.
That was twice a month exhibition shows with guys like Supernova, also known as Simon Dean, and a bunch of other like New Jersey and Philadelphia independent wrestlers. But I actually learned in Tri-State Wrestling Alliance, which was ECW, before even Eastern Championship Wrestling. So, and that's why I was in the first match in ECW history, because I went to the Philadelphia-based wrestling school, learned from Jimmy Giannetti, from J.T. Smith, from, believe it or not, the Sandman and other guys that were at the school.
I believe it.
And their full-time roster, yeah.
Mm-hmm. And over the years, you have gotten to work for all the major companies that were around or are still around. How did you get your start and have Paul? You obviously got called into ECW, or you were there. Obviously, you had your first debut match. During your time in ECW, you obviously decided to move on and join WCW. How did that come about?
That was just a contract disagreement with Paul Heyman and in WCW, and at that time I was still nursing a very bad neck injury, so I was looking at, quite honestly, the money at WCW. So I wish I had stayed in WCW longer, but it didn't pan out that way either.
But speaking of Paul Heyman, how did you you like him? He was cool with you?
He was a good motivator. That's about all I'll say.
Understood. Fair enough. And during your time wanted to touch a little bit on your tenure in TNA as Dr. Stevie. Did you enjoy working with Abyss during that time that you were, with the company? And do you think that there could have been, if things worked out, that you could have actually been there even today?
Yeah, absolutely. I think the stuff I did with Abyss was some of my best heel work. I heard you guys talking about the right to censor just as I was dialing in, but I think Dr. character actually had a lot more layers and levels to him than the right to censor character, because I was obviously a heel, but I wasn't your run-of-the-mill yelling, screaming, brawling type heel. I was more cerebral, and I liked what me and Abyss did. And if you think about it, Abyss was kind of like really watered down and not really looking strong up until the Dr. Stevie debut, and that was my goal coming into the company and making Abyss the monster that he had been built up to be, and I believe that's what I did. And on the other note with Dr. Stevie, thank you. On the other note with Dr. Stevie, it didn't run its course because of the EV2 angle, which personally I objected to. I figured Dr. Stevie had at least another couple of years before you even touch a babyface Stevie Richards character. I really believe that they really stopped a viable character that could have drawn money with baby faces and getting them over and getting them to draw money with those baby faces.
Definitely. And go ahead, Austin.
So during your time in TNA, you actually working with Daphne. I mean, she's really strong from what we've all seen. How was she like?
Well, she obviously complimented the Dr. Stevie character, and always having a woman with a guy, it just adds and makes it easier when you have a male fan base that can not only appreciate the work in the ring, but also have somebody to look at on the outside. So, yeah, I mean, it enhanced everything around the character and the angle.
Very true. And you actually got to work for the WWE during what many would say is the biggest it had ever been at that point in time, as they basically claimed the top of the mountain after taking out WCW and ECW. You enjoyed a good tenure there, not just as a wrestler, but you also one point you were accompanying Victoria to ringside during her matches, and in my opinion, personally, she was one of the better trained female wrestlers that really knew how to entertain the hell out of the fans. What was it like working with her? And was it fun? Did you think it could have lasted longer, or do you think it ran its course?
No, I don't think it ran its course at all. What's funny was that a lot of people really kind of looked down on the fact that I was willing to do, just like in ECW, to stand out by doing something that a lot of people's egos and their own supposed integrity and credibility wouldn't allow themselves to do, and that was reverse the roles and be the valet for the woman. I saw that. A lot of stuff I did in wrestling, I did because I'll corner the market on this because nobody else will want to do it, and that way my spot is safe for a while longer. So that's
actually very smart.
It is. Nobody considers me to be smart, but they don't know. That's why actually a lot of hard people give me credit for, because I don't go around telling everybody how smart I am every 5 minutes like most of the people in the business need to. But getting back to the Victoria stuff, it had a good give and take thing, because I was the valet, and then when they wanted to cool her down a little bit, we started up the Stevie Night Heat stuff, and then she became a valet for me on the Heat show. But we always kept ourselds relevant and in a lot of ways special and unique. So a lot of people always want to try to get over on the other person they're working with, and we were both smart enough to realize that we could use each other to enhance the gimmick, and it worked out great. Actually, there was one funny thing was we were pushing for the first ever intergender women's title match at WrestleMania with me when she broke away from me, and we did all that stupid stuff with the dress and everything. That was supposed to actually culminate, hopefully, to at least a pay-per-view match with a guy versus a girl, but it would be wrestled like a regular match, because she was big enough and strong enough to carry that end of it.
Oh, yeah. And that would have been something to see, and sadly that didn't come to be. But you know what, though? I always remember one in specific was when she wrestled at WrestleMania, and you guys, or it might have been WrestleMania, correct me if I'm wrong on this, and the music plays, the tattoo that sang that song that perfectly fits you guys. I thought that it was just, and you guys come out and pose for a second for the crowd, and that to me was just awesome. I really enjoyed you guys working together. I feel your personalities really worked well as far as selling the characters that you guys are portraying, and I personally felt it could have went a little bit longer, but it is what it is. And as we briefly touched on it, I'm going to go into it, and I hope you don't mind. How did it come about that WWE approached you about this right to censor idea? I know that the PTC was quite an issue for them back then. Was that somewhat more of an idea where they decided to spoof them on TV, would you say?
Yeah, the thing that they had, the vision they had for it was just, it was very bland and very political and very, of course, making fun of somebody who was giving them a lot of trouble at the time and costing them a lot of money. But I wanted to turn it into a cult, which I think it turned into more of that than the because it was just a political figure that was just cutting boring promos and nobody wanted to listen to him. That would have lasted all of 6 weeks. But adding people and converting and doing this whole almost Branch Davidian type thing at the time would have been the way to go. And I'm glad that I sort of snuck it in to go that direction, and I don't think they were paying attention. Most of the stuff I did in my career, they never paid attention. But they, in that case, it benefited me and actually everybody in the group.
I definitely got to see different sides of the guy, the lady and gentleman that you brought in, the Good Father, Val Venus, and Ivory. You got to see a different side of them, which I don't think it hurt their career. I definitely think it helped them, because a lot of us who grew up watching them didn't know that they could actually do act a certain way and sell it as well as they did. And people will probably poo-poo on the idea, but I'll say I really enjoyed the group. I figure it was something different, something new, and I enjoyed it for what it was worth, what it was, what you guys were trying to do. And I wonder if they would ever consider doing that again in the near future, and if so, would you ever take part in something like that again?
Yeah, as long as the money's right. The thing about the right to censor, It's so funny how people don't realize it, but that white shirt and that black tie, and when I cut my hair in January, I got recognized so much more often than when I had the long hair, and that's exactly what people remember. You got to think that was the year 2000. That was 13 years ago, and it really does, I think, have the effect, or at least the memories that right up there with the other Attitude Era things, because it was right at the end of the Attitude Era, and I think it's lumped in with, not on the level, but we had programs with The Rock, Steve Austin, and other people that were top people like that. We did a few weeks with The Rock, if you think about it. Val Venus wrestled The Rock on a few SmackDowns. We had some stuff, a lot of stuff to do with the Dudley Boys. We even crossed paths. I did an entire Hell Show run where, we worked against Steve Austin and a couple other people. So it was quite a bit going on. Kane, The Undertaker, we were really right up there in the top angles, and I was lucky enough to be the guy with the voice who really stood out in front of everybody else.
So
that's actually...
You're actually...
Go ahead. Go ahead.
I was saying, actually, as a few weeks ago, you are now a certified DDP Yoga instructor. How do you go about actually doing that? That's awesome.
Well, you let Paige kick your ass a lot with these workouts. That's probably the best way to start. I really stuff. Anything I do, I really put everything into, and it's something I really love and can see the benefit of. Not for like the P90Xs. Let's back it up for all the other workouts like the P90X, the CrossFit, the Insanities, even a couple other workout systems, because I really like trying different stuff. There is a point that it comes to where there's a lot of impact on your joints. You hit a plateau. There's really no place to go. With the DDP Yoga system, it's amazing on a bunch of different fronts. For the first thing that he convinced me on was the fact that I can jack my heart rate from resting at 65 or 70 up to 120 just by using dynamic resistance in a matter of 2 minutes. I can jack it up to what takes me 20 or 25 of banging my joints on an elliptical or a bike or a spin bike. I mean, that kind of had me interested there. But the other thing was the obvious injuries that I've incurred with my spinal issues, with my neck injuries and the surgeries, and then all the other knee and back issues that wrestlers have. I just started doing the workout full time like a year or two ago, and then cut my cardio completely out and replaced it with it probably about 6 or 7 months ago, just because of my ego. It's like I got to get on the bike and like just work out like a maniac. But then I replaced the cardio with that and felt like I was actually improved in the ring, breathing-wise, cardio-wise. And then I said, the next logical step was to get certified. When he mentioned it to me, saying what a great instructor I would be because of my intensity, how I believe in stuff, and especially my story with the wrestling, with the injuries. And then we met in London, did a 45, 50-minute workout, and I was hooked. And I said, you know what? I'm going to teach this. Went up to I took all the online stuff. I sent in a video of me instructing. I taught friends. I practiced. But then I took the trip up to Atlanta, went to the crib. He tested me on everything. He said his words and Yoga Doc's words, I scored 98 and 99 on everything. That was a very great compliment. Well, I really do I'm just following the program, and I'm very photographic. I have a good memory that way. But the amazing part is, after leaving there, it became like he explained it to me perfectly when he said, instructing on this workout and doing this workout is a lot like calling a wrestling match. You have your basic foundation of the moves or whatever, but then you can call different spots, extend the spots, make the spots shorter. And I don't know if you guys have done DDP Yoga, but there's dynamic resistance in certain breathing techniques where you use 3, 5, 10, even 20-second counts, or you can go up to 30, 40, 50. You see, you can always extend these counts or do sets or spots and then go back to them and extend them. I mean, it's really just, it's limitless to how you can do it. And the modifications for beginners, where I was one time, makes it such an easy workout to start and an easy workout to actually make as difficult as you want at the same time.
That's pretty awesome right there. And to answer your question, I've actually been looking into trying to do DDP Yoga, which I plan on trying it, but as soon as I can afford to buy it, of course. But it looked something very, it caught my eye, and how it has been working for not only you, definitely DDP, for Jake, for Scott, and anybody else who's taken part in it. It's done wonders for them, and it's kind of been catching my eye, and I've been kind of deciding when I'm going to do it. I want to do it, and it would be awesome to actually have a class with either you or Dallas, and do that one, with a little group of people. It's too bad you don't live out here on the West Coast.
What part? What part of the West Coast?
Let me put it to you this way: have you ever been to Rikishi's school out here?
No, I haven't. That's in the San Francisco area, though, right?
No, actually, this one is Knox Pro. It's in Sun Valley, and it's about an hour and a half from his facility. It's an hour and a half roughly from L.A., but, to give you an idea, I live in the area of the Antelope Valley, which is close to Santa Clarita Valley, which I'm not sure how familiar you are with this area, but to give you an idea.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing. Here's what I am doing, and it's a great opportunity that anywhere where I have wrestling shows, like I'm booked September 27th and 28th in PA, and I'm running yoga classes around that and even the day after on the Sunday morning before I fly out later in the afternoon. October, the whole week. October 4th, I'm going to fly in for a convention in New Jersey. It's like a big Legends convention, and I'm going to be taking the DDP Yoga class with Paige, who's teaching it there. And then all week in Philadelphia, I'm going to be doing meetups, doing classes in Connecticut on the 10th and 11th before a show in Boston on the 12th. I'm going to go to a couple Anytime Fitnesses in the area, and I got classes blocked off there to teach DDP Yoga. And then obviously on the 12th I wrestle, but before that I'm going to be doing the DDP Yoga class. So it's an awesome opportunity for me to wrestle and also to do the DDP Yoga stuff, and then, bundle it in with an appearance or an autograph session or whatever. But it's just really great to be going all over the place. So if I have a show out in your area, long story short, I would definitely get the meet up and get the classes and stuff like that. So tell Rikishi to book me.
You know what? I might just do that.
You know what I noticed about DDP? I'm sorry.
Yeah, Rikishi's doing DDP Yoga. I see him tweeting about it.
Yes, I actually have too, yes. Go ahead.
What were you going to say, though?
I was going to say that what I noticed about DDP, like without all the other guys that do this type of stuff, that he's really passionate about what he's doing, and other people notice that too. So they're on the bandwagon, and they see that this actually works. And I promise you, I have not seen one bad review of DDP Yoga. Everybody's getting the results. They're all good results, and that's what makes me want to try it out so much. But and I keep on saying I'm going to get around to it, but I haven't got to it yet.
Well, he's actually a lot closer to you than I am, Stevie. He's actually in Louisiana.
Well, I'm flying out to New Orleans on November 16th to do a show. I got a seminar a day before, and I'm working for Wildcat Wrestling, so I'll be in New Orleans.
Oh,
and
check
I'll be
it out,
doing
Austin.
Yoga class. So there you go. And you guys, I hate to say it sounds so like rah-rah and everything, but you got to get that word try out of your mind. There is no trying. Either you're doing it or you're not doing it.
You're right.
Kind of being professional. And once you do it, I guarantee you, once you do it and you understand it after the first time, how to breathe and how to use the dynamic resistance, and realize that, the page just isn't saying make it your own or own the workout because it's just some catchphrase. It's a great catchphrase, but it's not just a catchphrase. It really is a million different ways to modify, to make it harder, to really engage. You can play so much with this, and when you use the heart rate monitor, which is what I use a lot, I can be a more efficient workout. So in 15, 20 minutes, if I really wanted to cut it down to a 20-minute workout, I'm burning, and I've done it. I've done the basic YRG workout and burned probably 200 to 300 calories in a 20-minute workout. That's insane. And then when I do the 45 and 60-minute ones, I'm burning around maybe 700, 800 calories. I mean, we're talking about up there with the high-impact aerobic, the aerobic workouts like your body pumps and your step classes and all these impact-style workouts, and you're burning almost as much, if not more, calories doing that. It's crazy.
Absolutely. And to answer what you were saying, you're right. There's no try. You're just going to do it or you're not. But do you feel that doing the DDP yoga has kind of made you has added more years onto your wrestling career made you more able to move around a lot easy without being in too much pain?
Yeah, I have. I mean, as far as prolonging my wrestling career, I always have a standard where if I have to put on a shirt in the ring, I'm retired. I'm done. I don't want to do anything to if my performance is not up to snuff. I can work. I mean, there's people that can work and not have to worry about physical limitations and all that stuff, but I need to look like someone that is into health and fitness. That's an athlete, in my opinion. The DDP Yoga workouts, I never thought that I would actually be in relief of my pain, with my neck pain, my arthritis, the normal stuff any athlete would impact goes through. But I feel I'm virtually, knock on wood, pain-free. My body style's changed a little bit, so I'm not exactly at 225, 230. It's kind of like DDP. You know, he was like a good 240, maybe 250, and he was jacked. But now he's lean. He's a little thinner. It's a different body type, but it makes for actually much more than just a prolonged wrestling career. It makes actually for a very prolonged and healthy life, which is more important.
Would if the opportunity presented itself, as much as you're doing the new training for the DDP Yoga, if, let's just say, a week goes by and WWE decides to call you and ask you about being an instructor at the new facility, or even coming in and doing a class there to with the guys and gals do some yoga, would that be something you'd ever consider doing? Considering you're actually in Connecticut, but the facility's in Florida. Hello. Or no, you're not. Are you in Connecticut or are you in Florida?
I live in South Florida, so yeah.
You know familiar with it is.
Yeah, I used to live right around the corner from where they have it now. There in Winter Park. I lived right there. But no, anything I can do, and it's not so much for the company, but anything I can do to help those young guys and girls out as far as lending some knowledge that was passed on to me, or teaching them something that could probably prolong their career a little bit, or with the yoga, it's hard to turn somebody on who's 20 or 30 years old onto the yoga, especially a guy, because they have a certain way of thinking about it. When you start to get in your 40s like I am, you start to get back into that corner saying, I need to do something else, because no matter how much I work out, I just feel pain. So you start, you haven't this. I tell everybody who's in their early 20s or 30s wrestling, you're going to get to this point. You might as well do it now, swallow your pride now, because you'll be in the same position as me and then the same position as DDP when he was in his 40s and his back gave out, and he needed to start doing DDP Yoga before it was DDP Yoga. The company has always been good to me, WWE, on that note, and they've always, they gave me a job for 9 years. I earned a job as well. And then it just came to an end. And if they decide to bring me in and pay me to do something else that I love to do, which is pass knowledge and be a part of the wrestling business, then, yeah, I'd be more than willing to do that.
Absolutely. And to go back to your wrestling briefly, as we're almost done, the WWE opened up in their version of ECW in 2006, and you got to work with some of the guys like Kevin Thorne, like Hardcore Holly, like I believe there was others like Test, and I believe even Tommy Dreamer was in there as well. Do you feel that
he had some great CM Punk had some of the best matches on the show?
I don't think Punk can have a bad match with just about anybody. He has great matches with just about everybody.
Yeah, he can have bad matches with Elijah Burke. I saw plenty of those. They were not. That was oil and vinegar backstage and in the ring. Believe me. Look it up on YouTube. There's like 4 or 5 blowing spots where everybody's like, "Oh goodness, just go to commercial."
Do you feel that that could have actually gone longer, or was it a really bad attempt to bring back a memory of what was like in the 90s, and just didn't get over as good as they'd hoped?
No, it made money. ECW brand made money for the company. They were on Sci-Fi. They had advertising. The rise and fall to ECW. For what they paid for the licensing and the libraries or whatever else they had bought from bankruptcy court, they made a big profit on that, and they're still making a profit. I think Volume 2 just came out not too long ago. They're going to Volume 3 and 4. The ECW brand is a cash cow for the amount they invested in, and
and we'll be back more with Stevie Richards right after this commercial break. So stay tuned to Pipebomb Radio.
If only one thing they wanted to do out of the ECW brand was to make CM Punk a star, they've made their money back on it right now just on that alone.
Absolutely. And that actually goes into my next question is, have you been following up on the stories that are going on today in either WWE or TNA or both? And how do you feel about, if you have been following WWE, how do you feel about this new issue with Daniel Bryan and the McMahon Corporation kind of deal?
Oh, I haven't been watching too much of it. I mean, I hear about it when I'm at shows and stuff. People talk about it.
Mm-hmm.
The only stuff that I've seen recently was the fact that my good friend Dustin Rhodes, Gold Dust, wrestled Randy Orton. Probably one of the best matches. I mean, the people said one of the best matches they've seen on Raw in a very, very long time. And it actually reminded me of the matches back during the Attitude Era and stuff like that, with the crowd, the way they responded. And, selfishly, I watched it because Dustin is my friend, so obviously I'm going to try to watch with friends, stuff like that. I'm friendly with Bubba Ray, with Bully Ray, so once in a while I'll see what he's done. But I don't go out of my way. You're talking about Monday and Thursday nights, end of September. What do you think I'm watching?
Breaking Bad?
Probably
football.
I would say football.
Oh, football. Okay.
It's football season. I know it's football, so.
Football.
But I only have 3 more questions left for you, Stevie.
Yeah. Yeah, go ahead.
My first question would be, is there, if the, I'm going to actually ask Austin to ask his final question. Just give me a second to recollect my thoughts here. Austin, did you have any final questions for him?
Well, I wanted to say this. I brought up this quote a few weeks ago, but it's why live a life if you don't at least do something remarkable, and you've definitely done that, and it's really inspiring because you've done everything you wanted to do, and just from wrestling and the DDP Yoga stuff, that's really great,
Oh, thank you.
And
I don't know if that was a question or not.
Oh no,
it was more of a statement.
Oh, I appreciate it. I thought I missed part of it. I didn't know if Blog Talk was cutting out on me.
Oh, no.
Yeah, well, it tends to do that. Actually, my last 3 questions, if the opportunity presented itself for you to, because it seems as if a lot of people are doing it, would you ever consider doing a podcast of your own show? Or, and my second question is, would you ever consider opening a wrestling school?
Well, I've had a tech site called P4 Show for over 6 years now, and we've had at least 200 or 300 podcast episodes on that. So when we stream that live with video, we're doing some changes right now. But I'm pretty familiar with podcasting, stuff and everything. I don't know about doing my own, like a Stevie Richards one or anything like that. I've considered doing one along the lines of health and fitness and incorporating the DDP Yoga stuff. And wrestling school, no, I've never ever considered a wrestling school just because it's just I don't know if the business model is good enough. It's hard. I've seen a lot of friends and people I know start wrestling schools, and their number one complaint is the kids don't want to pay the dues. I mean, you're not going to do that to someone like Bubba and Devon because you'll get murdered, but you're going to give them their money. And, it's harder, too, because Bubba and Devon have the tie-in to TNA. Then you have the Steve Kern in Tampa, who still has the tie-in with FCW to WWE, even though they aren't part of the developmental system anymore. Then you have OVW with Rick Rogers. There's so many schools. The Monster Factory in Jersey. Where would I fit in? What would I do? I would teach guys the right way to do it, but what would make somebody want, unless I was currently working for one of those 2 big companies, what's the hook to make somebody want to go to my school?
That's true. You got to make it a good selling point and something that could work out good for not only you, but obviously for them. And the reason I asked that the school portion is because I know that my partner here, Austin, is looking to pursue a career in wrestling as he gets older. He is still a young man. He's actually not even 18 yet, but he is looking to do something like that. And he's looking at schools like from guys like Luke Hawx at Wildcat, or even
I was just about to say, if there's just one school I would go to outside of those, me and Luke have wrestled tons of times, and he's a personal friend of mine. That is definitely a school, and I forgive me for not mentioning it because I'm just talking about in line with the companies. But Root trains people the right way. I'm going to work for him. I like work.
And I think we might have lost him there. I'm going to try to get him up again, and if all else fails, we'll have to get him back another time. Hang in there for a second, folks. I think we've got him back on, so let's get it rolling and finish up this interview right now.
For him, his kids are respectful, and they're broken into the business the right way. One thing, though, you don't go in there expecting to get respect right away. You're going to have to earn his respect, and he's going to run you. And you better be in shape because he's going to make you puke.
Oh, I've heard about that. No, definitely. I mean, I've actually seen you, and one other subject here for a second. Seen you last year, Elite Championship Wrestling. You actually was the Wildcat show the night before, and you came down to Houma.
Houma, Oklahoma.
Yeah, Houma,
Louisiana. I'm sorry.
Yeah, we did.
He took a picture with you when you came down to a show in his hometown of Houma, Louisiana. I hope I said that right. Awesome.
Was it last year when we did the military show?
No, it was actually the night after the military show.
Oh, so that was the one for Wes Adams in Mississippi, right? He has a school too, I think.
Well, the Wildcat went in, and I'm talking about you had this Wildcat show. It was on Saturday, and then the day after, you came down to Houma, Louisiana, and did a show at Elite Championship Wrestling, and you faced John Saxon.
Oh yeah, I remember that now. Okay, I'm sorry. There was 3 shows that weekend. I remember which one. John
there's been a lot going on.
I do remember. Yeah, I'm not.
Did you have any final questions for him, Austin? Austin, do you have any final questions for Stevie?
I was going to say, I know you're a big fan of technology and video games. What do you think about WWE 14? You think it's going to be an awesome game coming out on October 29th, is it?
Something like that.
I don't know. I mean, the wrestling games have been great. I mean, they did the one thing they needed to do without changing the Ukes engine, because it's still the same engine that they were using in New Japan Pro Wrestling and all the earlier SmackDowns. But they definitely did themselves a favor by adding legends and adding all the people from the Attitude Era and the Warrior and Hogan, and that's I think more of a stopgap until they figure out what 2K is going to do next year with the engine, and if it's going to be anything different. I still love Fire Pro Wrestling. I still play it on my PS3. It's $10 on the PSN store, and it's a great game, and I got all the created characters. If you go to, fireproclub.com, you can get everybody updated. And so I have hundreds of wrestlers throughout all the eras, every era of wrestling. And it's more involved. I like that game. It just seems to have more heart than any other wrestling game I played.
And that's the reason why you're actually the reason that I began, because you did a review on it, I think. And it was actually a few days after I bought it, and I loved it. I mean, people that came and played it, they're like, they didn't understand the whole entire character, how they are, the graphics. I don't know why they weren't fans of it, but the whole entire game, just the gameplay is awesome. Like how the matches, you can play the matches all day long, and you're not going to get bored.
Yeah, I agree. I play it all the time. I still play retro games on my Ouya with all the Nintendo 64 and WCW games and even the Mercy and stuff like that. It's awesome.
Did you have any other questions for him, Austin, as we go ahead and wrap it up?
That's it for me. Thank you for answering all the questions.
Go ahead.
Well, that was it. Sorry for getting a little confusing here.
No, you were just saying we were going to go ahead and thank him, but I actually wanted to ask one last question, which would be more of a request, if you can. Would it be possible for you to cut a promo encouraging our listeners to listen, say like, hi, this is Stevie Richards, and you're listening to Pipebomb Radio, and just kind of do like a little promo, and something to that extent? Would that be something you can do?
Yeah, so it's just general one like that's okay.
Doing like that, yeah. Keep it simple. Nothing too. You can include whatever you want to it, but yeah, keep it as simple as you like, or you can add anything you like, and just let me know when you're ready.
Okay, I'm ready.
All right, go ahead.
Hey, this is professional wrestler and certified DDP Yoga instructor Stevie Richards telling you that you're listening to Pipebomb Radio. And remember, there's no trying. You actually have to do DDP Yoga. Sorry, guys.
Good stuff. Thank you so much, Stevie, for doing that. That was perfect.
No problem.
We can't thank you enough for that. And also, before we go ahead and conclude, I actually have to say thank you not only to you, Stevie, but also to another Steve, Mr. Steve O'Neill, for helping set this up tonight.
Yep.
And
yeah, no problem.
Without further ado, on behalf of Austin, we thank you so much for joining us tonight.
Thank you so much.
And we hope you enjoy your night.
All right, take care, guys.
Much respect.
All right, bye-bye now.
Hello, is this Paul London?
Hello, this is Paul London calling Wilt's grocery shopping. So you'll have to bear with me. I took a
sorry
nap,
about that.
and I looked at the... No, don't. Why are you sorry? Come on. I'm sorry. I'm calling a half hour late. Well, I guess it was more of a window. So I'm not really that sorry, but you know what I mean. Here I am.
No.
How you guys doing?
We're doing good. We're just thankful that you were able to make time to sit down and chat with us, or in this case, shop and chat.
Oh yeah, no, it's my pleasure. I'm gonna try and get this wrapped up here shortly while I'm doing this, so it shouldn't be too much of a distraction. Thanks for having me.
No problem, man. No problem. And we
this
just
is a
had a few
Kool-Aid
questions.
right there. Sorry, trying to find the Kool-Aid, man. Here it is. I was trying to find the Kool-Aid. I found it.
This is
great. I have your Kool-Aid. You know what I mean? Yeah, man. How much? Package? Okay. Go ahead. I apologize. Continue.
It's okay.
Let's do it.
I just wanted to ask you about what triggered your interest in professional wrestling as a young man when you were growing up. What was it that kind of made you think, you know what, I'm going to do this, and come hell or high water, it's going to happen for me? And so far, it's been happening for you. But what triggered that feeling for you?
I think it was just a combination of things, to be honest with you. A combination of my love for acting, my love for film, for action movies, my love for comic books, my love for video games. Much more as a young kid than as now. I'm not really as into video games and or comics as I once was. It's not that I'm not into them, I just don't have as much time, yeah. So, but, just a combination of all those things. And so when I was at the store with my mom, I saw the magazines, actually. It's funny, it's always the magazine is what hooked me. It wasn't the TV, so that's always something that's kind of different in the sense that, everyone usually gets hooked by the TV. They stay up late, past their bedtime, whatever, but it was actually the magazines that caught my attention. So yeah, I just flipped a few of those in the grocery cart. Come check out time. Mom couldn't say no, and I got a magazine, and I just saw these really colorful behemoths on there, and I was hooked. I was hooked.
And I'm sorry.
No, I was just saying, and then I saw it on TV, and then I was super hooked.
So who are your favorites actually growing up when you're a fan of professional wrestling?
Mr. Perfect, Kurt Hennig was my favorite. I loved the Rockers. Roddy Piper. I loved everybody. I loved that everyone was a character. I loved that everyone was a threat. I loved that everybody, you took them seriously, for the most part. You know what I mean? Now you pretty much get an idea of who's going to do what. It kind of takes the fun out of it.
Awesome. And how did it come about that you got your deal to go to WWE? How did that set up for you to head that way?
Again, I don't think it was one particular factor in the sense that, this one thing happened that propelled them into signing me. I think, it was more so a combination of, I had been doing TNA, I had been going to Japan, I've been doing Ring of Honor, which had been stirring up some buzz at the time and always has. A company like WWE likes to say that, they don't keep an eye on certain things, but they're lying. I mean, they keep an eye on everything. They have to.
Oh, yeah.
That's how they keep their thumb on you. So, it's, to say that it's one particular thing, so it was really a combination of things. But I was, really just tearing through it as much as I could, too, in the sense that I was going everywhere I could. Pay wasn't even an option. I didn't really care. It wasn't about getting paid. It was just about being in the best opportunities to be seen and or work with somebody that can make me better. That was really the most important thing, was just, can I get into a situation where I'm going to be either in front of the right people or working with the right people? You know what I mean?
You definitely enjoyed quite a bit of success in WWE, working with guys like Billy Kidman and Brian Kendrick. And
yeah.
I think you even still work with him from time to time now, too, don't you? Don't you work with Spanky still?
Yeah, with Spank, Kidman and I, weren't really that tight. So, we were friends, we were in the sense that we were acquaintances, and we did the job. But it wasn't a kind of thing where, we called each other on weekends or anything. That was never that was never the friendship that we had. But, it wasn't so much him or me in the sense that, I think, there's almost a 10-year gap in us, Billy and I, and with Brian, there's a 1-year gap. He's married now, but Kidman was married the whole time, and I know that stuff like that may not seem like a big deal, but it kind of does. I don't know. When you're in a tag team, you want to be as tight as you can, I think, with the guy or gal or however it is that you're teaming with. I think you should stick up for each other in the locker room. I think you should watch each other's backs in and out of the locker room. I think it's a legit thing. I don't think it's let's put on our team makeup and our team outfits and let's go play team, and then come time when you're at the bar or in the locker room or whatever, someone's nagging on your teammate, you're kind of like, wait, not my problem. You know what I mean? Like, no, you're a piece of shit teammate, in my opinion. And so, I don't know. That's the difference between my team experiences. Brian's definitely been my best teammate. He's one of my best friends. We were really, really tight friends before either of us were even in WWE. So, it just worked out good for both of us. And he went to bat for me when I was in developmental. I was down there for a cup of coffee, and he helped me get out of there. So, that was good. I was real thankful for that.
So, actually getting into Ring of Honor, you were actually one of the founding fathers of Ring of Honor. Like, how is it to be, known as that? You basically started up the company to where it is today.
Well, I don't know. It's not really fair for me to say I started up the company, but I was a very early feature. I don't know. It's neat, It makes me feel old, like I'm grandfather time or something. So that's kind of bizarre. But I probably don't feel as old as, the other guys, like the Briscoes or Whitmer or some of these other guys. And they will get, man, let me tell you. No. It's neat. It's neat, especially to see where it's evolved to and to actually be there and having recently experienced, just change in atmosphere. It's encouraging, extremely encouraging to know that the wrestling that I grew up loving, in the sense that it's the kind of wrestling you can get lost in. Does that make sense? That's something that really encourages me to know that, this sport isn't quote unquote dying out. You know what I mean? There's so many people that think, kayfabe's dead, this is dead, this is dead, da 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 da. And it's, much easier to point, the negative finger, to, cast the negative light or whatever bullshit cliche you want to use. But
honor lips, right?
It's a lot easier to go in that direction. And I myself have been a victim of that. But it's sometimes it's easier to go negative and to go in that direction. I think so. For them to keep something wholesome and clean for the most part. I know Truth Martini likes to get down, so that's fun to watch. But that's maybe one of the more risque characters. You know what I mean? And it's tremendous. It's an amazing character. I'm entertained by everybody I see. So they keep it legit for the most part. I love that.
So I was actually going to ask.
Sorry. So I'm happy to be a part of it. Sorry, just to wrap that question up and put a bow on it. It's it's a real. It's neat. It's a feather in the cap that was not intended when I started there. It was just like I said. That was another place where, it was always the Northeast. That's where you get seen. That's where the best talents go. And so that was just really what that was. And to see that it blossomed into something else is really pretty special.
Because you actually, you definitely got it seen because you put your body on the line every single time I see you in a match, and that's what basically, draws people to you.
Yeah, maybe, I guess. I don't know. Or they just see
I think it's your sense of humor, too. I do.
They're like, man, that guy's an idiot like me. I like that guy. I don't know. I'm not sure. But, I don't know how else to work, to be honest with you. When I say work, I mean, I put my work boots on, my work shoes. I've never worn wrestling boots. Just can't do it. Sucks. But I don't know. That's just the way I was raised, I guess. Just work hard. If you're not sweating, what are you doing?
True.
If there's daylight outside, you better be outside. It's just how I was raised. So
if and when the day comes that you actually do retire from the ring, have you ever considered going into stand-up?
Yeah. I mean, I'm an actor at heart. To be honest with you, I was an actor before I got into wrestling. I think there are similarities, but there's a lot of very, vast differences. Obviously, most actors are pussies. As far as physically, it's true. And the honest ones will tell you themselves that it's true. But most actors are pussies. But no, I mean, I'm an actor at heart, but I'm just, I just grew up with a lot of physical surroundings.
The reason I say that is because I was just reading your bio on your Twitter, and I'm just sitting here laughing because I was like, geez, this guy's got a personality. He's got a sense of humor.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, to answer your question, my thing is I'll write jokes. I'm like, man, my brother's a stand-up. That's his deal. Not that it's not mine. I just haven't. Those balls haven't dropped yet. So, yeah, those balls are still up in my throat at the moment. So we'll see when they drop. You'll know it. I'll be up on stage. It'll be the shortest-lived stand-up career ever.
Hey, I mean,
do you think that there'll ever be another chance for you to return to WWE in the future?
No, not at all. Not at all. For various reasons, but no, not at all. Not at all.
You like what you're doing now?
Yeah, I mean, I'm never fully content by any means with what I'm doing. But what I like most is thinking about it earlier today. I was like, man, I'm pretty close to being near as broke as I was when I was in high school, but I'm happier than I can remember being in quite some time. I mean, probably since high school, but I wasn't even that happy in high school. I was kind of a miserable wreck, but a bit of a lone wolf. But anyways, money's bullshit, in my opinion. It's not anything you can take with you to the grave.
Thank you.
And it's not anything, it's like my old man says, he's like, You know, it's a wonderful, wonderful servant and a horrible master. And so that's how I view money. So yeah, you know, every day is a new pop quiz, and I just do the best I can with it. So, but I have fun when I'm doing it. That's the thing. I try to have as much fun as I can. So I am a jackass. I can be a goof or whatever. And people might think, oh, he never takes anything seriously. And like, well, why should I? You know what I mean? Like, do I need to be serious while I'm sitting here walking down the aisles of HEB? You know what I mean? Like, staring at wonderful jelly beans. I mean, this is cool. I don't know. People just too serious. It just baffles me. You know, it's like people speed up their own demise. I don't get it. It's weird.
You know, you actually, I mean, not many people actually get to do what they love, and you have done that. And just think about that. Not many people get to do that.
I'm doing it.
You're still doing it.
I love grocery shopping. I'm doing it.
Exactly.
This guy.
I live for this stuff. So, yeah, I mean, aisle 14, desserts, frozen bread, ice cream. I mean, look at all the various possibilities. Let's look at 15, frozen dinners, family-sized meals, complete meals, frozen potatoes, hot pots. Jesus, frozen potatoes has its own label. They better have at least 5 windows dedicated to frozen potatoes. Let's take a look. Or a walk. I guess we'll walk down here. But yeah, no, you're right. I'm extremely fortunate. The moon and the stars lined up somewhat. They continue to line up somewhat. But at the same time, you know, I don't like to just lay that off to chance or luck. I think luck's kind of a lazy word in the sense that people tend to rely on it. And pardon me if this offends anybody, but it's similar to religion in my sense. I mean in a commercialized religion, not in the spiritual sense. But you know, I think everyone has the right in that to be spiritual within themselves. I'm not a firm believer in commercialized religion. But either way, you know, I think people are like, oh, you know, he's driving the wheel. It's in his hands. Why? I don't know. I like to drive. I want to drive. You know what I mean? And when I say that, it's like I was thinking all of these things. I was visualizing this quote unquote dream. I was visualizing all of these things. I saw myself in the ring with these guys as a 14-year-old kid, 13-year-old kid, 12-year-old kid, whatever, playing by myself. That sounds really bad. Playing on the trampoline by myself. That sounds terrible too. But I don't know. I was content with my daydreams, and I was content with where I knew and where I was visualizing that I was headed. I was more content with that than the typical things that kids grow up with, grabbing their attention. And so I spent most of my time by myself, you know. I lost my brother when I was 16, my oldest brother. So that was another issue for me, where I didn't really fit in well with the social scene, you know. So, you know, it's...
I actually wanted to ask you, going off the subject for just a moment.
No, please. I'm going to start crying if you don't, so I'm glad you changed it.
No, well, it's a moment that kind of stood out to me, and I wanted to ask, and you don't have to answer if you don't want to, but, and I'm sure you've gotten asked hundreds of times, the moment in the time when the Mr. McMahon character was supposed to die.
The smile deal, the explosion?
Yes.
Yeah. That's so funny. Yeah, it was a hoot, man. I had a blast.
You didn't get in trouble for that, did you?
Hell yeah, I did.
And you're laughing about it now. I like that.
I was laughing about it then, man. It was bullshit. It was so funny. It's so funny. That's one of the reasons I was telling you. I was like, nope, never. You're like, will you ever go back to the... Nope, I can answer that question before you finish it. Vince hated me for whatever reason. Probably midpoint on in my career there on. did not like me. I don't know if it was because I was, doing a crazy monkey dance with, different girls that he wanted to, and that he was trying to molest in his jet plane. Maybe he was pissed off that I got there first. That was always Linda and Stephanie were always super cool to me. Shane was a bit of a dickhead to me. But I think it was more so like him sizing me up all the time. Like, I don't get it.
Yeah.
I don't get why people like this guy, but he doesn't play the game like everyone else. So I don't get it. I don't get this kind of character. I don't get this kind of guy. He's not like everyone else. I don't get it. And that's kind of the approach I felt that I got from Shane. Not so much that he didn't like me, but just that he wanted to keep distance from me because, I don't know. You fear guys like that. Guys that don't fall into suit. And that company is, its foundation is leveled in cement and fear. I'm telling you, that company that's what keeps that company afloat. Where's the fucking ice in this place? That's what keeps that place afloat, is fear. If you keep someone in fear or manipulated to be in fear, you keep them on their heels. You get that expression, right? Oh, they're on their heels. Fuck, what I mean? They're staggering. What's a lot easier to move somebody around, whichever direction you want them to, whether it's this way, that way, this way, that way, if they're in fear. So that's kind of what the whole company is based on. Wrapping it into what you were asking about, the limo explosion, I was already in trouble that morning. In trouble, can you believe that? Like, I was already on my way to school to get demerits because of an internet incident in which some skunky mullet-haired dipshit from the Carolinas asked one of his boyfriends to set up something where it looked like I was telling fans in public that Ashley Massar was on Survivor, and so I was already in trouble for that because they believed apparently what they read on the internet, which is really funny, considering they claim that they're anti-social or internet, and all that. Like, it's a bizarro world, man. Anyway, so I was already in trouble for that. Yeah, I would never go back there, not for $1 gazillion.
Well, I actually do have a question from one of our people on Twitter. He wanted to ask you from Josh. He says his question is, what was your favorite organization to work for and why?
I had a lot of fun when I worked at Old Navy. That was mostly because I just fucked off and threw shit over the aisles that I couldn't find where to hood it up. Let me think here. I had a lot of fun with these two promotions that I worked for this past weekend. I don't know. I had fun on the independents. Just none of the top major companies. The enjoyment in the top major companies is, the consistency of money. Okay, you're not really that worried about, what you're going to eat or how you're going to pay for what you're going to eat or how you're going to pay for, your 8th pair of stupid bullshit shoes that you don't fucking need.
Thank you.
Like, it's bullshit. It's all bullshit. You don't need any of this crap, Like, I remember one time, these guys were, apparently everyone was, I don't know, it still baffles me, but Hummers or something, those were the rage, right? I'm not talking about the physical kind, that'll always be the rage, but I'm talking about the vehicle, the souped up, like, the mom tanks, and so everyone was getting these H3s, I'm like, Jesus Christ, like, these guys, like, what is the personality in these clowns, I don't know, it's so high school. The place is so high school. I feel like I'm forgetting what I specifically came here to get. Damn it, hold on. And I picked up all this extra shit.
Did you get milk?
No, it's necessity, though. Don't get me wrong. I have a weird diet. I have a very, very odd diet. And so a lot of this is snacky, tacky stuff. But it's so in order to keep me from eating bullshit.
Did you just say snacky, tacky?
Yeah, tacky, snacky. I don't know, however you want to call it. I've got that in this chip aisle 50 freaking times. Man, I'm all over the place. Let me think. Okay, Vince McMahon thing. Yes, I got in massive trouble. They didn't give me good directions. I smiled because I was innocent in my head. Like, I don't know what's going on. This is bullshit, but I'm smiling because whatever's wrong, I'm not responsible. I'm a village idiot. Ha ha ha. I'm smiling. It couldn't have been the idiot guy, so that's me. I got in lots of trouble, even after Vince looked me in the face 20 times, seems like, and I did it every single time, except when someone else pointed it out, one of his little stooges guys, then he got mad, and yeah, I was in trouble. I was off TV forever. It wasn't until Chris Benoit thing that I got all the attention off of me. I got put on that so they could try and save their skin as a company and come up with all these bullshit PR schemes to look like they give a shit about their talent. Let me ask you this. If they really give a damn about their talent, why do they just have a drug rehab program instead of a physical rehab program that's guaranteed for other contract guys? Don't you think if they had a physical rehab program, I'm talking full chiropractic work, physical rehab work, therapy, physical therapy, all that stuff, if contract guys who have ever had a contract had access to that lifetime, don't you think that would actually cut back on the drug addiction itself, diminishing the need for a drug rehab? But no, it's straight just drug rehab. It's bullshit. It's a PR scam. It's a complete PR scam. So they can look in the media and to the fans, to their nation, that they look like they care. But it's absurd. Why don't your listeners look up a guy named Bobby Bradley, who was under contract for quite some time with WWF, but never quite broke through to the mainstay? Why don't they look him up? In and out of their program to the point where they, apparently, from what I understand, like, no, look, like, okay, you kind of used up, you kind of overstayed your welcome here, but that's all. Just, Bobby Bradley, may he rest in peace.
Ouch.
So, I don't know. It's tough. I don't have the health insurance. Like you said, I take chances, I take risks every single time. I don't know how to let up on the gas. But at the same time, you get what you paid for. You get what you paid for, in my estimation.
Exactly.
I'm a business. I'm a walking business. I'm a one-man band. I'm a one-man circus.
Forget Heath Slater. I guess you're the one-man band, huh?
Well, we all are. If we're smart.
I'm just messing with. I know.
I don't even. We all are.
Let me ask you.
Wherever I travel, people hope to see certain moves. They hope to see certain things. A lot of those are my hits.
Have you ever considered opening up and doing your own podcast at all? And just shooting the shit and just talking about whatever's on your mind?
Again, that's one of my brother's department. He's got a real successful podcast. Mine would just be a zit on the ass of his.
I don't think so, pal. I don't think so. You do actually have a fan following.
Yeah, no, I mean, I'm all good, man. I like to keep some modicum of privacy. I don't like to overexpose myself, which is why I don't do too many of these podcasts or radio interview deals. Some about you guys, I got a good vibe and figure it to be fun. And it has been so far.
That's what we keep it all about. It's just about having fun,
Yeah, well, I'll just you'd be surprised how I'll end up in some of these interviews. It's almost as if they just want to hear me breathing. Like there's no questions or it's bizarre. And I'll just hang up. Like, well, okay, I guess you guys just wanted to hear us hanging out. But nobody's saying anything. What the? I don't know. Whatever. It's weird. So. No, it's been fun. I appreciate the questions. I mean,
we really do appreciate you taking time to talk to us because I know, I'm sure you get bombarded with tons of people who want to talk to you, and like you said, you never knew who you're getting involved with. You just take a risk with whoever you feel comfortable with, and we thank you that you felt comfortable with us to sit down and talk to us.
Yeah, it's all good, man. Yeah, it's cool. It's cool. Yeah, it's all good.
So did you get all your grocery shopping done?
No, I can't find the ice, and I'm trying to think. Okay, I got my grapefruit juice, got my peanuts, got my tapioca pudding, got my gluten-free Oreos, my chips that I have my roommate,
Apple Jacks,
my gluten-free chips, got my popcorn, got my Hawaiian.
Did you get your Apple Jacks?
No, I can't eat that crap, man. It's got wheat in it. I got my flan, got my Greek yogurt.
Oh, there you go.
I need some bananas. That's what I need. Fruit, good for you.
Hey, just out of curiosity, have you actually gotten into or tried any of the DDP Yoga that they've been talking about? Well, it's all over the place.
No,
really.
no, I haven't. I saw the ad. I saw Stevie. Is Stevie like a registered trainer? Have you already had Stevie on here? Is he? I feel bad if
we
I
actually had him on in the first
Stevie.
hour. And yes, he is a certified trainer.
Awesome. Well, I knew he was a certified trainer, but it almost looks as if, he's like a.
He doesn't charge very much for classes, I'm sure. But I'm sure you can reach out to him and ask him.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. I mean, I don't think I live near him, so it'd be kind of.
Well, I mean, he travels to different parts of the around, just like you do, I'm sure, to compete and so forth. He says he talks about doing some yoga sessions before his shows, and then afterwards the next day, and so forth. So yeah, I mean, even whether it be with Stevie or even with Dallas or anybody, I'm sure you should give it a shot if you're hurting from any of the matches you've been in and coming off of the world title tournament that you were in with the Ring of Honor. I can imagine you're probably a little banged and bruised up.
Yeah, I've got some tricks up my sleeve. You know what I mean? I've got some friends who are therapeutic gurus.
Oh, there you go.
One of them has recently, introduced me to acupuncture, and so that's been it's been very helpful. Lost quite a bit of blood already, but that's part of the fun. But I'd like to try alternative means for therapy, and so I think the DDP Yoga session isn't too out of the question. We share the same acting coach in Los Angeles, and I've heard wonderful things about it. I know it's worked for a lot of guys, and I'm not against it,
Definitely love to hear if you try it out, what you think about it,
Yeah, sure. I'm all for it.
So you have any shows coming up?
Oh, there you go. We've got any upcoming shows?
Y'all are stepping on each other now. Y'all are stepping on each other. Go ahead.
We do that all the time.
Do I have some shows coming up? Is that what you're asking?
Yeah, you have any shows, wrestling shows?
I got a show in San Antonio on Sunday for some dudes. Actually, the guy that I debuted in Ring of Honor against, Chris Marvel, who had the horrific ankle accident. He runs a promotion. I'll be working for him on Sunday, or with him on Sunday. And then, let me see here. I've got a FWE in New York next month. I've got a couple other little dates peppered throughout. I'll be wrestling Johnny Gargano up in Cleveland on the 20th of October. There's some slight Ring of Honor discussions in the midst. Got a tour of Australia coming up here in the next 2 months.
Wow, you're busy.
For another month.
Going way down under.
Yeah, I don't know.
You keep it busy, man.
Well, it's fun. It's part of the privileges of hard work, and that's part of the privileges of, just dedication, I guess, and determination.
Well, I got one more question for you from Twitter.
Please, I'm almost at the checkout line, so it's fitting.
If you had the opportunity, now I know you probably don't keep up with their products, the WWE and TNA products, but if you had an opportunity to wrestle one of their guys, one of their contracted talents right now, who would you want to wrestle and why? Do you know any of the contracted talents now in WWE or TNA?
Yeah. And I mean, obviously, I would have loved to have a singles match with Randy Orton. I think he's just tremendous from top to bottom, through and through. I would love to have a more legit match with Brock Lesnar. I think I could make that really, really interesting. Extremely interesting.
Nice.
Let me see here. I don't know why, but John Gonzalez keeps popping in my head, but I know he's since passed.
No, you didn't just say that.
I know he doesn't even count, but that's like my dream match is John Gonzalez.
Now you're just talking shit. Shut up. You're talking crap.
No,
Giant Gonzalez.
I'm serious.
Come on now.
I'm serious. All the guys look the same on TV now. It's like frat boy wrestling. I can't watch it. I need a channel. It's like frat or sorority wrestling. It's all bullshit. Sorry.
Sorry,
Yeah.
I didn't mean to laugh about that, but I really thought I took it as a joke, so I laughed about it. So.
Oh no, I think it is a joke. Personally.
Well,
yeah,
that's what I say. If you aren't doing a podcast or doing stand-up, you should be doing it.
Yeah, I don't know. The thing is, I write these jokes down, and then I'll kind of just mellow out, or I'll wake up from a nap and I'll read them again. I'm like, man, these jokes suck. I'll tear them up and throw them away. Every time, dude. Every time. So, I don't know. I just don't think I'm very funny.
I have
Maybe
a joke.
that's funny.
We've been laughing our ass off listening to you, pal.
There's plenty of other talent, too. I mean, it's nothing, no disrespect to the locker rooms there. I just don't watch. I'm not familiar with it. Obviously, Danielson's amazing. I'll tell you a guy I really wish I could have a match with would be Kenta. That would be a real treat for me. I wrestled Marufuji almost a year ago, and boy, that was a real feather in my cap. That was really sensational. So, I mean, that's really, when kids ask me, who do you like, I just, you got YouTube? Yeah, okay, well, then look up, any Japanese wrestling, New Japan, All Japan, Noah, 01, like, look up the girls stuff, look up, DDT, I mean, just all of it, the funny stuff, the serious stuff, all of it, it's just so legit, and fun.
If I actually had a match to choose to see you wrestle in, I would have liked to seen you go up against somebody like a Randy Savage, like Kurt Hennig, like a young Shawn Michaels.
I would have loved that. I would have loved all that. Marty Jannetty, I would have loved all that. All of those guys.
Yeah, Marty too. Marty's still out there doing his thing too,
I know, and I'm begging promoters out there, please, like, I'll work cheaper than my normal rate. Like, please. And I'm already being raped just on what I do get, like, for what I put out there. I'm definitely a bargain. I'm definitely a steal. I'm not like these other dipshit, quote-unquote, names who show up, take their money, and just phone it in. I'm sorry, I just don't work that way. So, somebody book it. Me versus Marty Jannetty, please. Or me versus Jumpin' Jeff Farmer. Or me versus Molly Cruz. Or me versus Richie Rouge. Or me versus anyone in that roster of guys from the Jumpin' Jeff Farmer videos. Me versus Tony the Spider. Somebody, please, I'm begging you.
Tommy the Spider.
Let's start with me and Marty Jannetty, I guess. That sounds more doable. All right, guys, I'm checking out. Yeah, go ahead real quick. I don't want to be rude.
I just wanted to get you to do one thing for me real quick. Could you quit a quick promo saying, hi, this is Paul London, and you're listening to Pipebomb Radio. Pipebomb Radio, right? Yes, sir.
All right, you got it. Howdy,
Let me know when you're ready.
Paul okay, yeah, go ahead, man. I was just giving a practice run.
Go for it.
Howdy, everyone. This is Paul London, the Intrepid Traveler, and you are listening to Pipebomb Radio. Don't light it, or it'll go off in your face.
Great.
That was a badass, dude. Thank you so much for taking time to talk to us tonight.
All right, thank you all so much for the time. I appreciate it, and I hope you all have a good rest of the week.
Hopefully we can have you back on again in the future, man.
Yeah, we'll communicate, and we'll get back on. I got some other stuff doing that I'd love to talk to y'all about and get out there, so we'll do this again.
Absolutely.
Awesome. Well, thank you all so much, and y'all have a good night.
You too.
You too.
All right, bye.
Bye-bye.